This is a group of pro cyclists in the 2024 Cape Epic ascending, summiting and descending the Cliffhanger, a quite spectacular trail cut out of the face of an otherwise unrideable bit of mountain. And this is my girlfriend when we attempted the same ride a few months later. Shame, I shouldn't be ridiculing her to elevate my content, but this intro was her idea. I should also mention that she's no slouch. She did go to the Olympics for an endurance sport, and though she's relatively new to the bike, this should still serve to indicate how extremely difficult this ride is. So let's break it down. This astonishing bit of downhill is what you get to do or have to do, depending on your perspective, after climbing an absolute swamp donkey of an ascent starting 1 vertical kilometer beneath you. The ride is on Knetsfontein Farm in a small town called Wellington in South Africa's Western Cape. The beauty surrounding the start point does nothing to alert you to the horror you're about to face in the saddle as you make your way up and around the 23-kilometer loop, with the Cliffhanger about 14 k's in. You're climbing from the first pedal stroke, and shortly after crossing the Bainskloof Pass Road, you hit the wonderfully named Alpe d'Huez climb with its 28 switchbacks, all of them numbered. There's a small reprieve as you descend Full Monty 3 for a few minutes, acutely aware of the 100 plus meters of elevation you'll have to reclimb as you wind your way through the trees. And then the pain begins as you climb Angel's Tears, DNF and the Cliffhanger itself for a frightening 750 meters of ascent and more than 17,000 switchbacks. I should note here that as grotesque as the uphill is in the first 14 k's, it's probably some of the most scenic riding I've done in South Africa. Almost all of it is under tree cover to ensure you don't blow a radiator gasket on the way up, and when you do pop out of the trees, the views over Wellington and beyond are breathtaking and cause for a great exclamation.
Oh my word, look at the views!
At one point near the top, I even stopped to say,
"It's Table Mountain! Unbelievable!"
because I could see Table Mountain in the distance. It took us 4.25 hours to complete this 23k ride with 1,000 meters of vert, and it was hard on the body.
Reporting from deep in the pain cave.
Hard enough that we had to stop for regular lumbar spine reset sessions. For me, because of my old man back, and for Georgia because I mistakenly bought her bike a size too small in a hurry to get her into the sport. The final burst of climbing is the switchbacks on the back of the Cliffhanger, which you would ordinarily point out as extremely picturesque, but instead are focused on nothing other than your front wheel and getting to the top of that goddamn climb. The Cliffhanger downhill section itself is indeed as intimidating as it looks. It's short, not even 200 meters of riding. It took me just over a minute to get down. You pick up speed fast on the hairpin turns, and if you're not on the brakes,
I mean, you could ride right off here. Getting it now.
You could easily ride right off the edge and straight onto the bike rack where you left your car. But if you ride within your ability, which I don't often do, it's certainly manageable, and you quickly forget about it because after that, all that remains is 8 wonderful kilometers of downhill at around a 9% gradient, and you couldn't be more grateful. There's still some thrilling riding above the tree line just to get off the sheer mountain face, and then you enter the pine trees below and onto segments called Full Monty 1, Full Monty 2, and Route 66. Not a single jump in sight, but some relatively fast freewheeling through the pines more than makes up for the pain required to get there. If your riding ability allows, I strongly recommend you get a group together and head to Knetsfontein in Wellington to do this ride. And if you're in good shape when you do it, it'll be far less painful than it was for me. Let me know how you find it, and I'll see you on the trails.